back to Build for Health, where we pull back the curtain on what it takes to build a strong, healthy body and a fitness routine that sticks. I'm Pete Wright here with Srdjan. Today, the scale. It's a terrible narrator of your fitness story. This week, we're exploring the metrics that actually matter, performance markers, body composition, and the biofeedback signals your body sends to you every single day, and why obsessing over a single number that fluctuates based on whether you had sushi last night is probably a recipe for frustration. Let's get into it. All right, Srdjan, the scale problem.
Yes.
How you doing? Do you weigh? You weigh in every day, right? You weigh in every day. You probably have a team of fitness engineers that wake you up and punch you around a little bit and then put you on a treadmill. I imagine, yeah, Rocky.
It's funny that we talked about this today because I did weigh myself this morning. I did take my InBody measurements. Just wanted to see where I'm at.
Yeah.
A little disappointed, but it's okay. And that will happen. So I just want to make sure, let people know it's normal. You'll get disappointed. I get disappointed sometimes too, and it's part of the progress. So, but yeah, I try to tell people to stay away from the scale. If you have scale at home, throw it away. You don't need it.
Why don't we? I mean, isn't that a marker of change?
Oh, the scale is so wrong. It's so bad. It tells you only one thing, and it's how much you weigh. It doesn't tell you what that weight is made of. It doesn't tell you how much muscle, how much is fat, how much is water, or how much inflammation or stress your body might be holding on to. Your weight can fluctuate a few points day to day just based on sleep, hydration, stress, sodium, hormones, even when you eat your last meal. I mean, I've seen people lose 5 pounds and feel weaker, more tired, and worse overall. And I've seen people gain 5 pounds and while getting leaner, stronger, and feel better than they have in years. So if you're just judging your progress only by the scale, you're missing the most of the stories. It's not what you should be focused on.
What are the things that go into our weight that make the scale such a problem? You just dropped a lot of them right off the bat, right? There's water and sodium and I mean, just you named them. What are the things that we don't think about when it comes to weighing ourselves that are part of our fitness, our strength building journey?
Well, that's what it is. They're just looking at the weight, and when they see the number, they think that's fat because they want to lose fat. They look at themselves in the mirror and they see they're big and they're fat, and they step on the scale and it's all fat. And they think all the weight that they lose, it's all losing fat. They're not think about the muscle mass and how much muscle mass they have and what the water intake is. That because none of that stuff is shown by scale. So you might be losing weight and you'll be like, oh my God, the number is going down. I'm glad, I'm happy, but you're actually less healthier now than you were before. So, because you're now losing muscle, which is very important and crucial to your body. It's your body's medicine. It controls everything. So it's actually worse to look at the weight and go that way. Because you have to, like the way I measure it with everyone's, like I put them on the InBody scale. Now, that's different. That looks at everything. So it looks at your body mass, the fat percentage, the muscle mass, everything. So that way we know what we're losing and we know what we're gaining. So it's completely different.
What is it? It's like shooting something through because it has handles and stuff. Like you're on it barefoot. It's like shooting electricity through your body, right? That's what I mean. It's going deep.
Yes, so it's sending the electrical signal to your body, and that's how it measures it. Because you step on it barefoot and you hold the handles with your arms, and it just measures. So it measures things like I said, fatty percentage, lean muscle mass, and overall just muscle balance. So those tools, I mean, they aren't perfect, but when they're done consistently, they're great for tracking trends over time. And the key is not to obsess over one scale, but looking at what's happening over weeks and months. So that's why I do monthly measurements, so that way people can see the progress and kind of see up and down, like I did today. It went a little bit down because I wasn't really good last month, the last couple of months.
Well, it's the
So now
holidays,
I do
right?
get back. Yeah, in fact, I don't want to blame on the holidays.
I'm trying to let you off the hook.
I know. I'm
No,
really hard on myself. I'm like, this is not supposed to happen. No, this is bad, and get back on track.
well, and the reason I ask is because, like, I think between InBody, which does the full body composition, and the regular scale, you still could fall prey to the psychological trap of the weigh-in, right? If it, the I definitely am that person. I'm so relieved that pretty much right when you and I started working together, the batteries died in my home scale. And I
That's
just,
great.
my accommodation is I just didn't replace them. So I'm not, but if there are batteries in there,
Yeah.
I obsess with it. And I look at charts and it's attached to my phone and it gives me and I do it every day. But what about the people who say, look, you can weigh in, just make sure you don't weigh in every day. Weigh in every Monday at 7 a.m. or something like that. Where do you stand on that?
Exactly. I agree with that. You shouldn't weigh every day because everything can affect, like I said, your weight can fluctuate a few pounds day to day just based on your sleep, hydration, and the stress and your hormones and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people weigh themselves throughout the week. And then one day they see they lost a few pounds, and next week and next day it's like, oh my God, I gained it back. And I'm like, no, it's not the weight. It's all the other stuff that fluctuates that you don't understand, that everything that goes into that. So people kind of start getting discouraged. So that's why I'm like, okay, take at least 3 weeks. I don't go less than that because nobody's perfect, the way it goes up and down. So I would do 3 weeks um, minimum, and then step on the scale, or don't step on the scale. Find the place that has the InBody and step on that. And then look at your like visceral fat and your total fat percentage and your muscle mass. Maybe you gained muscle, that's why your weight went up. Or maybe you didn't even change because you gained muscle, but you lost some fat. But the weight stayed kind of the same. And you're like, well, it didn't change. Yeah. But now you're feeling better.
And you have numbers to justify the change that something is
Exactly.
happening.
Then you can see it and then focus on those numbers and not just your weight.
What is it that keeps you from getting upset? You have an InBody. Like, is there even a little part of you that's like, I want to do this every day. I want to know how much my right arm weighs moment to moment.
Sometimes, but I'm like, I know it's not realistic. I'm like, I can, if I step on it right after the workout, all the numbers go up because you got the
Yeah,
pump, you
numbers
got the
go up.
inflammation. I'm like, yeah, I'm like huge. And the next morning I weigh myself. I'm like, oh, everything went
Okay.
away. I'm like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I try not to do it. I really do like once a month and maybe once every 2 months because I know for me it takes a little bit more, a little longer for the body to change. So
Mm-hmm. Try to give
just
yourself a
patience,
break.
patience. Yes.
All right. All right. So we're here talking about this from the perspective of strength, building strength. And so beyond the scale, beyond InBody, I would like to know how you track and recommend to track change over time. Because like a simple scale, there are also simple measures in the gym, right? How much weight can you lift or push or pull? That seems to be one maybe simple way to look at it. But what else are you looking at?
Well, everything, like when I'm at the gym, I'm like, are you lifting more weight? Are you doing more reps? Are the movements feel smoother? Are you recovering faster between the sets? Is your balance better? Um, so all those things you kind of compare to when you started, and you'll definitely see uh, the difference. Uh, and I see those difference in my clients when they started, and I'm like kind of trying to remind them. I'm like, remember when we started and you couldn't do this, and now this so easy, and it's like you do it effortless, and we can put more weight, and all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I remember that. So all these little things that sometimes you don't really notice because they don't really pay attention to that because they're so focused on the weight right over here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and everything is improving, right? And they'll tell me this is where the biofeedback comes into, where uh, they they energy level went up, their sleep quality, the mood, stress, appetite, digestion, soreness, and recovery, everything's improved, everything's better. Now they're sleeping actually better, and they have more energy during the day, and when they're playing with the kids and all that stuff, now actually have a strength to pick them up and do all these different things that they struggled with before. And now they're not sore as long as they before would be sore for like a few days. Now they're for like only a day or two. And then also their joints, for example, they feel much better. They have a lot less pain in their joints, and uh, everything else, even when it comes to nutrition, like their cravings, they're more manageable. They're not craving all these different things, and it's just they're looking at everything, not just the weight. And I've had a lot of people tell me like, oh, we went hiking and I actually went up and down, and I didn't feel like, I couldn't catch my breath. I was like breathing fine. I was good. I didn't really need to rest that much. So yeah, all these things.
I think that's really important, and I have to remind myself of that. Right, that um, the way I feel in my skin is sometimes there's a sense of urgency. There's like, I'm not moving fast enough. I don't feel like the change is happening, or I don't feel like, I recognize where I have chosen to make change and where I haven't, and I'm just not noticing enough. Like, what do I need? And yet, people around me are saying things like, you just seem a lot more sturdy than you've ever felt.
Yeah.
Right? They give me a hug and they're like, I can't touch my hands behind you. And I used to be able to do that, right? Just
Yeah.
last week, I went in to put a shirt on, a shirt that was kind of in the back of my closet that has always been a reliable shirt. It doesn't fit anymore, man. That feels pretty good.
Yeah, I tell people, like, well, now you're gonna need a new wardrobe, because I'm like, now you got a new clothes.
I am
Now you get
totally
muscles,
fine
your
with that
shoulders
problem.
are wider, like
It's
your
exactly
hands are
right.
bigger. You can't fit in your sleeves now. You have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the waist got smaller, so they were like, oh my god, now I gotta buy all these new pants and all this stuff. And I'm like, I thought that's what you wanted. I thought that was a good problem.
That's right. That is a good problem. But do you spend any time thinking about these sort of body composition metrics? Like, we've never talked about, measuring the, my circumference of my thighs, for example. Like, that's never been a thing, or the circumference of my neck. There's never been a thing that's come up. Have you ever gone down that road? Is that something that you look at as a reliable metric?
Usually I did with mostly like with the athletes and stuff like that. And only with the people that are really interested and they wanted to know. Uh, they're like trying to put on muscle mass and wanted to see if their arms got bigger and legs and stuff like that. But I don't use it as often as I do like InBody. I look at that more, uh, because it shows a little bit more of the things that really do matter when it comes to health, because everyone comes here and they want to lose weight because they want to be healthier. So then I focus kind of more on that, and looking at the, like you mentioned, the like a waist to hip ratio. It's just simple. Most people focus on the body weight or BMI, but those numbers don't tell where the fat is stored. Waist to hip ratio does, and that matters a lot for long-term health. So it's simple. You measure your waist and you measure your hips, and then that number tells us how much fat someone carries around the midsection compared to their like lower body. And the reason why that matters is because the fat stored around the abdominal area, especially deep visceral fat, is more dangerous than the fat stored like in your hips or legs. It's uh, and it's strongly linked to like heart diseases, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, inflammations, even overall mortality risk. So um, once those numbers, and there are numbers that they say where women should be, where men should be, and you shouldn't go higher than that. So that's why also that BMI can be misleading. So someone can have a
Body
normal
mass index,
BMI,
yeah.
the body mass. Someone can have a normal body mass index and still carry too much abdominal fat and putting them at the higher risk. So that waist to hip ratio, it gives us more clear picture where they at. So, improving that ratio isn't just about spot reducing like belly fat. It's about improving overall metabolic health, you know. So that's where the resistance training plays a big role, especially training your lower body and walking, managing your uh, stress and sleeping well, eating enough protein, all that stuff. All that helps reduce that visceral fat. And that's kind of what I look at when I do the InBody.
Where do you stand on progress photos? Like, taking your shirt off and taking a picture in the mirror.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. I tell people, like, at the beginning, and some of my clients have done it before, where they would take the picture of themselves, the front, the sides, and the back, and they'll start working with me, and then they try to take like every month
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of see the progress. And uh, I remember actually one of my clients did that, and I didn't actually even ask her. She came to me more because she had some knee problems, so we were focusing more on uh, trying to get her knee better, and she had some scar tissue, and the doctors told her that she wasn't going to get her full range of motion back. So I was pretty much working on that. I wasn't really too much focused on losing, body weight and all that stuff. But during that process, she was eating good and all that stuff. She took the pictures, and then she sent me like 4 months later, and it was huge difference. I was like, whoa. I'm like, I had no idea. Like, you took these progress pictures. It was great. And she was really happy. And so I do have people, and I encourage them. I'm like, take the photos, and then you'll see over time, how you're like, the whole body changes. You start seeing more definition, and it's kind of cool. But I do encourage, those are, it's more, I would rather do photos than step on the scale.
I reflect on that, and I wish I had started when I started coming to you. I wish I had taken some photos, because I feel different, and yet sometimes I'd still just look at myself and I'm like, still soft around the middle. I want to fix that. That's like my next cause, is fixing the gut stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from a perspective of, like, what is the minimum effective dose of tracking that's going to help me move that progress forward if I'm targeting a specific region?
Well, yeah, just look at, take the pictures and see how also your clothes fit. That's how a lot of people tell me, is like, oh, this shirt, I couldn't fit in this pants or this shirt, and now I can actually wear the shirt and stuff like that. So, plus you don't really see that much changes, because we're constantly looking at, ourselves in the mirror like every morning. So you don't even see those little changes that happens over time. And you always think, oh, I'm still the same. Like, I still have all this weight and stuff, but not realizing that you actually lost a lot of weight, from when you started. You look completely different, because now everything fits better and stuff like that. And then I have a lot of clients tell me, like, oh, I just got a compliment from someone who didn't see me for like 5-6 months, and they just saw me. They're like, oh my God, you look completely different, because they saw you 6 months ago and now, and they can see that difference. You can, but they notice it. They can tell. So I'm like, go by that, not by that number on the scale.
Yeah, the real marker that I feel like we've talked about is that the measures can be very, very personal. Like, for me, it's when I get up and down off the floor, am I making creaking noises? Right? Like, I feel like, am I able to do those functional things? Can I help carry groceries in a different way? Can I, right? That's it. What is it that I'm able to do, and how am I sort of noting that? I think having somebody that I haven't seen in a long time tell me I look different is addictive. I could get used to making notes of that.
Yes.
Because that is a sign that you're right. That's why I think I'm harder on myself than maybe I should be, because absent any other tracking, I just look at myself in the mirror and I see the same guy I saw yesterday, today.
Yeah.
And that's not fair, because that guy's doing work.
I mean, and it's good that I'm hard on myself too, and I want to be hard on myself because I always feel like I can improve, I can do better, and I'm always trying to do better and uh, finding ways to improve if it's my diet or my workouts or whatever it is. And I'm always finding other things to work on. It helps me stay hungry and humble and just keep working, keep trying to be better than I was yesterday, and then even better if I can be than last month. Like that's why I do these measurements, and then I always have a little goals for myself that I'm trying to reach. I'm like, okay, next month these are the goals, and I need to reach and get better at this and stuff like that. So just because somebody tells me look great, all this, I'm like, oh, I look great. I don't have to do anything else. I'm great, I'm perfect. I'm like, no. I'm like, good. I
There's
made some
always something.
progress, so it's working. It's doing. I just got to keep going, keep going. I actually just heard from one of my clients. I have two of my clients that are friends, and last weekend they met outside the gym and they were talking, and one of them was saying how she's not seeing still like results. She didn't really lose any weight, and she kind of getting discouraged. But she also has a lot of joint problems, like issues where she can't really do some of the exercises. And so I'm trying to fix her knee first and do all that stuff. But she did say that she feels like she has more energy and she feels stronger and all that stuff. So I had to explain to her that, we always say you feel it before you see it. So keep that in mind that when you start, you're going to feel it before you see it. So you can't just drop right away. You got to change your whole lifestyle around for you to actually start seeing all this. So be patient, like enjoy the progress, try to learn things and how to maintain some of the things when, after you lose weight and how to keep that weight up and things like that. So, but don't just look for the quick fix. So it's not going to be that quick, and usually you will get disappointed because, like I said, the measurements can go up and down. And I always tell people it's normal when they step on scale. I'm like, don't be discouraged if the numbers went down, or they're not where you want them to be. It's okay. We're working on it. So it will happen. It's never a straight line, to the success. So accept those dips and then just work on it. So it just, they need to be more realistic.
I love it. Go easy on yourself. Throw the scale out the window. Minimum every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You have permission, but really you should throw it out the window and focus on the functional stuff and the targeted stuff that you want to change. But also, if you want, you could get on that InBody and find out how much your right leg weighs. And I think that's really cool.
It is cool. It shows you all these different things, so you kind of get into it. It's pretty cool. So it will make you feel better a little bit about that, number that you see how much you weight. So it will encourage you more.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. If you've got questions about training, recovery, or tracking, or anything else you want to talk about, just head over to the website. Or I bet in moments I'm going to figure out how to post this to Srdjan's Facebook page. So if you're a Facebook client, if you follow Srdjan on Facebook, you're going to find out about this podcast there. Because by God, we're going to solve this problem. We're going to solve technology today, you and me. Send us those questions. We want to hear them. Head to the show notes. You'll see a link in there. You can send the question in right before the coach. Don't forget to subscribe and share. This is how we grow stronger together. Thanks for listening to Build for Health. We'll catch you next week.